Welcome everybody to web part development. We want to make a jQuery application here and using inside Ajax and web part solution. So I'm just gonna get started with empty project and SharePoint. Let me see jQuery and click OK. I just want to deploy to a sandbox solution and click finish. And after that, I need to do some fancy stuff. I need to get started with a web part and call the announcement. If you go to, let me go to my server Win 2015 div mode, and let me just go to user, just be admin. Alright, just want to log in using admin credentials, and here working it. Alright, it's fine. Just want to log in to the system and to the home page, and just want to do and make some statements here. Alright, just gonna get started with Visual Studio. And as you can see here, we are in SharePoint jQuery. Just gonna get started and create a new item. And this new item is just gonna be a visual web part, and just gonna name it as first jQuery. Alright, we are here. We have different bunch of stuff. Just gonna go here, edit, and cancel out all these web parts. So it's gonna come here, delete this, scroll down a little bit, delete this web part, and come back again to this and delete it. And after that, just gonna get save. Save all the changes. We got this app, this server here running up and running. And I need to just show you something here. When I go to site content, you can see that we have a different bunch of stuff. If you click add an app here, you can see we have document, we have picture, announcement. I need to use this announcement object in order to be able to work with it. So I need to create a new list, and this list is gonna be named announcement. So let me just name it as announcement. Create it. Alright, so I created an app called announcement. You can see it here. So when I create a new announcement, you can see here we got title, we got body, we got expires. So these are the main things in an announcement. Let me just go to list settings, and I just want to go here to list names and display it in a quick launch. Just save it. Alright, what I'm going to do right now, I need to go to my home page here, and inside home page I want to do some jQuery stuff. So inside my home page, and after I create my first web part, I need to call and instantiate jQuery and stuff like that here in my page. So you go design, you can see this design, this space actually. So I need to use some fancy stuff here, some jQuery and code. Alright, so first thing I just want to insert here is code for JavaScript. Alright, just want to insert my JavaScript code. And also in addition for that, I want to insert the code that are responsible for working with, let me say, for working with ASP.NET Ajax. So here we using different versions, so we can use one of these two actually. And just gonna use jQuery and continue the program flow here by using an existing function for document.ready, $sign document.ready. And I can just continue here. say document.ready. We get the function, into the function, into the already, and put a semicolon here and continue the work just right there. So I'm just gonna save this, and in document already just gonna say alright alert message, and just say hi. So this is the basic workflow that we want to execute. Include Ajax, include jQuery, include runtime for SharePoint environment. Save the changes. Alright, just want to deploy this SharePoint to the server. Right click, deploy. So adding to the solution, you can see we are adding to the solution. It's ready. So I can go to page edit, and I can insert web part, and can go here custom. You can see the name here is, you gotta find it somewhere else, SharePoint jQuery. Click add. We are adding. Alright. Alright, I can see the changes. I can go home again and execute that model. You can see it's executed, and we can see it. Go inspect element, and here in Firefox you go to debugger and run the console. You can see here clear, and try to go home again and see what you got. I clicked in home, and I see a message here called hi. So I just want to ignore security. I'm gonna ignore CSS. You're gonna see that everything is went fine, and you can see JavaScript. We got everything here, and this is pretty much awesome. So right now I can go to my page here on Visual Studio, and instead of writing hi here, I can do some fancy stuff. So I can begin working with SharePoint to insert data, to do a CRUD operation, create, update, and delete on list using JavaScript. So I can get started with it. For example, here I need to define the site collection. So I need to go here globally into my environment here. Just type my site collection. Its sites name is div mode, and here we continue. This method gonna create a list item. So I need to come here after we say ready. I can come here and paste this code out. This is for create list item. This is for on succeed, and this is on failure. So we gotta test this method here, create list item. We can copy this function out, and I just need to insert into announcement here. So I need to test this function out, so I can come here and say, alright, ID, I'm sorry, I can click anchor, and I give it, for example, an ID is equal to my ad, for example, and just end it out, and here just gonna type add an. Alright, And this add me is gonna be an ID for this link, this hyperlink. So instead of saying hi here, I can come to this and just type something like this. I can say I wanted to add, let me say, to when I click on the button named $sign ID add, my ad, name is my ad. When I click on this my ad, I just want to say, alright, click the it's jQuery function, and so I click just gonna execute the function, and this function is actually an anonymous function. So it's just gonna call this create list function, and it's gonna go here, save. You're gonna go here and save, and after that I'm just gonna say, alright, I need to deploy the solution. So you're gonna see here build recycling IS pool, retracting solution, adding solution, and you're gonna see deploy succeed. So as a user, I can come here to home. Notice here I don't want to do reallocation to the web part. I just want to refresh the page. Alright, you can see we got this button. So if we go to announcement, before we click on that button, you go announcement, you can see it's empty. Just click on add en here. See, item is created with ID number 1. So I can go to this announcement, reload it. Oh wow, you can see that we have created a new item, and this is my new announcement item that has been created. So this is pretty much awesome. What about the other operation? We have add item here. I need to do something else. I need to make let me add different stuff. My add, let me say my deletes, let me say here my update, and let me see finally. We have add, delete, and updates. Do we have something else? This is pretty much add, delete, and updates. These are the whole 3 operations. So let me just copy this, my del here and my up here. Just want to create function for these 2. So the same thing here. Copy this function, copy and paste, copy and paste. And inside my del, Control X, paste inside my up, Control X. Do the same thing. I need to create the rest of 2 functions. So first, let me just say this is the first function on query succeed. So say this is 1, and this is for query failed. This is 1. My function number 1, and this is my function number 1. Alright, this is pretty much good. Alright, we got 1, and this is 1. We got everything is 1. So I can continue to query the rest of things. Here, this is the create list item. I can continue with update list item. So I can continue with updating list of items here. So this is going to be my function for update list of items. So I can come here and inside the script, can scroll down a little bit. This is going to update my item number 1. Just want to update my item number 1. And this is going to call succeed 2. This is going to call succeed 2. and this is succeed 2, this is failed 2. Alright, just gonna call this function update item. Here up, go up, update. This is gonna function my update. Alright, so yep, this is gonna be my function update. Alright, I need another function for delete. So the delete process simple as that. You have to make another function which is for delete, and it's also gonna call different function. So I go to Visual Studio. This is on query delete. Gonna call function number 2, and this is for deletes. So this is delete, and I'm gonna delete item number 2, and this is gonna delete item number 2 from the list of announcements. And here you can see inquiry succeed, inquiry failed. It's gonna name it 3, and this is gonna be also 3. And here just gonna name it 3, and here also it's gonna be named 3. We have additional function here. It's wrapped up, and this delete list item display count. This function is gonna basically delete list item display count. If you want to retrieve, for example, the new item count, the result from a delete operation include a call to update method to refresh list. In addition, you must load in either the list object itself or item count property on the list object before executing the query. If you want to retrieve both a start and end count of the list item, you must execute 2 queries and return the item count twice, as shown in the following method. So in this example, we just delete list item display count. We call the context. From context, we just get the list of announcement, and from list of announcement, we just get and bring client context load the list and execute this query, which is gonna in success execute delete item. Let's here we execute query async, and here also we execute query async. This is a synchronous query execution model. Delete item gonna delete an object, and display count we just gonna also display count. Alright, this is pretty much awesome. Create delegate display count. I'm just gonna call display count, and display count we're just gonna return number, and create delegate this the query field. We're gonna execute this, but the good idea here is that we execute function on success and we execute function on delete. So you might use this in order to return let me say count the items. So I can come here and say here, I just want to say my count, and just gonna create a function for this my count here. So wait a minute, I'm just gonna go here. Alright, copy this code out, paste this code out here, my count, and paste this over here. This is gonna call a different function. We have create, we have update, but we didn't call delete. So let me just call this delete function inside my delete here. So I'm just gonna delete an item. It's gonna update an item. It's gonna give me the count of the items. So I'm just gonna call this function out, delete list items, and we need to bring this function here on the life. So let me just copy the whole function here. Delete item, it's already there, it's already item list. Alright, so I'm going to copy this code from here, copy this in out. Alright, this is is thing you want to do. Paste the code. As you can see here, we are calling the current site URL announcement, and here we call all this data, and we call delete item, which is gonna delete the item number 1, for example, item number 1, and after that we're gonna create a delegates that gonna run the delete item process, and this item process gonna execute this and gonna call another display count. So there's some kind of asynchronous calling here, and we're gonna alert the number of item here inside display count. So in this case we have on query failed. Let me just name it as 4, and this is gonna be my query failed 4. This display counts, and this is very much the whole 4 operations that we need in order to execute our model. So this is gonna be my add. This is gonna be update. This is gonna be the delete. This is gonna be the count. I can save this out. Save. And I can also deploy this to the server. So I'm gonna deploy this to the server. Activating deploy succeed. So pretty much I can just go to my home page here and just refresh the page and refresh the list of announcement here by clicking on announcements. Alright, just go click home. You can see we got add, update, delete, and count. So we got 1 item, so let me add many. Click again, we got 2. Click again, we got 3. Click again, we got 4. So just go announcement again, refresh the list, we got 4 items. This is item number 1, this is item number 2, and so forth. Just gonna click on update item updated. So this one of these must be updated according to the code. So as again, the first one is updated. You can see it here. The third code is gonna delete one of them. So I'm gonna delete number 2. Click delete. Item 2 is deleted. So this should be gone. Click announcement. You can see it's deleted. We have the third function, count and delete at the same time. We do two asynchronous call at the same time. So click count. Let's say item 1 is deleted, and we got 3 items. And int count is 2. We started with 3 and counted 2. So if you go announcement, you get 2 items because we delete 1 and we call the count method. So this is pretty much how we could work with asynchronous callback let me say in SharePoint development. This is the student object, so you can modify the whole project here. If you don't like to work with student object, you can modify, create another web part for student. So I'm just gonna show you how. Let me save everything here, and let me just go and create different web part. But first thing, you need to know what are the things included for student. For example, if I went to student list, and I just click on the student and go edit and modify. You can create column, modify view. I'm just gonna click on modify the view. You can see here we got all the columns that we have inside the student. So pretty much I need to do the same thing here for the student. So I just gonna go here to add a new web part, visual part. I'm gonna say student web part 11, and just gonna click OK. I'm just gonna do the same thing, the exact same thing. I'm just gonna create a new web part for a student and do almost the same thing that we did for the announcement. So student is a custom object, as you know. We did it from scratch, and this is our code that we need to use inside our page in order to make a student. So we're just gonna copy this code, paste this code out, say this is student, and we're just gonna make some fancy stuff here, a break, in order to just make it much. I don't want to do some fancy stuff. Just want to make it simple as possible. So we're gonna do the same thing for the student. And notice here we got some differences for the student, because when we're talking about a student, the name of the list is gonna be changed to be students. So this is the first thing you need to care about here when talking about students. So go students, you gotta see this list. If you go list settings, you gotta go list name. The name of this list is student, so I must use this list name. So inside of my code here, I need to go and check the URL of the student, and it's list student. So this is the URL. Alright, so first thing I need to go to my script. I'm talking about sites. That's pretty much right. The div mode site, and here is my add button. Add delete and click on update count. Everything seems good. I'm talking about students here, not announcements. Notice the difference. I'm talking about students. Here we're talking about different criteria. We're talking about student. What kind of columns that we have for a student. When you click a new item, you have to add the title. It's important. The user ID. This pretty much. And also we need to type different things, like we need to type the user ID. This is the first thing we need to type here. User ID, let me just, without spaces of course, just type it as 1. And also we need to type the title. So we have something called title here. You need to copy this and paste. It's gonna be my title of the student. And here we need to insert additional field, like, let me just type address. So I need to get address and put it here. And also I need to give first name. So copy the first name, copy it. Alright, and put the first name over here. I'm sorry, here. So we got first name, we got title, address, first name without spaces. This is pretty much good. This is gonna create, and here is my function. It's gonna succeed. We're gonna do this. Fail. We're gonna do this. This is for another. For updates, you can do this again, but wait a minute. I'm just gonna see the changes to the new web part for the student. This is just a demo. I don't want to go in depth, just showed you how to modify some stuff. So I need to go to rebuild my solution and right click and click deploy. So when I click deploy, I'm gonna be able to deploy this new web part to the server. So when I deploy this web part to the server, I can go to, for example, to the same page, to the home page, and inside my home page, we need to insert a new web part. And this web part that we gotta insert right now is gonna be able to add students. So we are here in the student list. We are here in the student list, and the student list we got just 2 students. The first one is Ahmad, the second one is Ashraf. So I need to insert the web part that we have developed here inside our page. So I go to page and page edit, insert the same process, go web part, and here we just scroll down a little bit for custom, and in custom I just choose the new web part that we built, which is for student web part 11 that we call, and just now gonna click OK. So when you click OK, you gotta see here we got this student web part. You can see we just got 2 students. Click on add. We gotta create a new item for the student, and I just gonna go here and right click on students. Some students we can see here that this is student 1. So we create item 8, and we get item created -1, and that's why, because -1, because we didn't create, we got 2 apps in the same page. So when we call this function, when we call add function here, this is name is create list item, is gonna call the 2 functions. So this is critical. I need to rename this as X, and this is gonna be X, create list item X, and here this is gonna be also create list item X, and scroll down a little bit down for my add, it's gonna be add X. So we got -1, and we got -1 because it didn't work because request failed. We got this message. Let me just make sure that this is on succeed X and this is on failed X, so we don't have to name the same function as it is. We have to do some changes. So save this and try right now to modify the title as hello, address as also hello S, and first name as hello E. Alright, hello S, hello E. This is for one of the each items here for the student. Alright, so I'm just gonna try do the same thing. Try to do deployment to the server for this web project where we got 2 web apps, 2 web parts here. So deploy succeed. I just gotta go home and just navigate to the home page again by going and check here the student app that we created. Alright, refreshing the page. We working in this data. So this require IIS resets for the first time because we upload a new web port, and it's gonna ask the system for a new reset. Alright, so you can see here we got this one, this one, this one, this one. And this is let me just go edit page and make sure that we got the web part that we want. So I'm just gonna go insert web part and insert a custom. The name of the web part that we were developing is SWP11. Add it to the page, see the changes, and go to list of student, click all. We got just two. Click add. You can see here we got an exception. And why we got this exception? Because the user ID that we put there does not exist. So we have to put a valid user ID. So what kind of valid user ID we might get? We might get 1, we might get 12. So in that case, when we add a user ID, say that user ID is not valid. So let me just try click again, see what is exactly. That the column user ID does not exist. So the column user ID does not exist. In order to know whether a column exists or not, you have to go to site settings. In site settings, we have something called site columns, and in site columns, you can see there we have a list of columns. So site columns can be accessible everywhere. So if you go a little bit, find the user ID that they're talking about. Let me just find all the user fields. User ID, you didn't see it. So I was talking about student. Alright, let me just find anything related to student. We don't have it. So that means the user ID, this column, does not exist. So we need to do something else. We need to go list settings, and we need to say we're talking about content type of student, and we have all these columns including user ID. And user ID columns that we have here, the column name is user ID, but you can see this user ID is not let me say side column, or we cannot put it or change it from the code. So I need to modify this, comment this out, save the changes, and try to deploy the solution again. Alright, and go to home again. Go home. It's gonna require to IIS reset because we are in farm solution execution model. Alright, let me just try again. Click student. We got another exception. It says that column address does not exist. It may be deleted by another user. So the column address does not exist in the student list. So it's the same as for the ID, and maybe I need to comment it. So if I go to student list, let me just go here to student list and go to list and see, I need to go and modify view. I can see here that we got an address actually. We got an address, but address, wait a minute, address. Yeah, this is an exception because we're trying to put an address for the student, but unfortunately, the student, let me just find address. We got an address somewhere else here on the page. All right, no, we don't get it. So let me just put, we got an address actually, it's here. But this address cannot be accessible from, this address cannot be accessible from the, let me say, from the API. So I'm trying to fix this problem by going to student again, come to list settings, and I'm just gonna go to advanced settings to the student and say yes, and create and edit all items. Read items that were created by user. Enable. Make a new command available. Alright, and launch form dialog. Just gonna click OK. And here we gotta go to permissions for this list. Alright, I got the permission. And here for the column name that we're talking about, which is address, it's multiple value, it's multiple line of text. Alright, just gonna copy it and go back to address, paste this out, make sure there's no spaces. It's multi-text. Alright, just in case, I just want to comment this out, save it, and just want to go and deploy this again. I just want to see what is going on to my environment here. Activate and deploy succeed. Just go to my student again. Go to the list of all the students, just click here. Alright, I need to go to the home page actually, to the home page. Yep, and I just need to create app. Notice here the first name does not exist, so request failed because it may this first name does not exist. So if you want to change or if you want to copy this, first name also does not exist. So we need to find a solution to this problem right now. We just gonna remain with a title until now, until we fix this problem. So I'm just gonna deploy this again, and click OK. You can see here when I click on the button, after we click on the button, you can go to all student. You can see we insert a new student. Come back again, add. We insert another new student, but we still are not able to insert the related field related to address, first name, and user ID. Okay, in order to fix this problem, you need to make sure that you got the actual name of the student. So all the fields must be the real names, not the display names. So in order to know what is the real name, you have to go to list. You go list settings and scroll down to the columns. For example, I need to insert address and I need also first name. So I just open these two columns, address and first name, and I scroll down to the address here. I can see the display name is address, but what is the actual name? The actual name is work address. You see this field? The actual name is work address. This is the actual name. So I copy it, and the actual name for the first name is not first space name, it's first name concatenated together. So here I need to go and do some modification to the first name. It's not as we saw here. Just want to remove this and concatenate this to say hello N, for example. And the work is not, the address is not address, it's work address according to the field. Alright, what about user ID? What about user ID? I tried to insert the user ID, but I could not. So I go here, I can see it's user. So pretty much I go here and uncomment this out. And instead of user ID, I'm just gonna put user. Alright. Save. And after that you can go and try to run it. Or you can just make deployment. Click deploy. Alright, we added, we're activating, everything is fine. I can right now go to students and I can go also to the home page. Alright, I click on student add. As you can see, the student has been added without any problem. So I can go to students and I can refresh the page or click on the quick launch. I can see a new student has been added with first name, with address, and with the user ID. So this is pretty much for this tutorial. We saw how to create and using JavaScript inside how to use JavaScript inside the web part, how to add, do the CRUD operation on the list, standard list, and on the custom list, as we saw for the student, how to get the actual field name or the column name from the columns and list setting. This is pretty much what we did in this video. We gonna do something in advance in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. I will put the source code in the description. This is pretty much. Thank you and see you in other videos.